Gameweek 24 is like really close now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that the best triple up, you might not like this, but the best triple up is Salah, Trent.
And see, when we look at all of where the doubles and blanks are going to be, I think people might be making a mistake free hitting in Game Week 29, and this is why.
Why? Captain is not as hard as last week, but I feel like it's still a little bit of a bogey week.
Yeah.
I don't think that the player people are going for is going to be the best option.
But there are a few options genuinely this week.
Chris Wood.
Hello, and welcome to the Stick to FPL podcast, the premier Fantasy League podcast, if I do say so myself. It's time for Game Week 22, and this podcast is going out with like a day to spare because there's really not much time between deadlines at the moment, which is crazy, but we move. Hello, Sim. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I feel like the fixtures crazy schedule is behind us, but chip season is here.
Oh, yes.
And we are ready to get crack-a-lacking. I feel like now is when the cream rises to about 250k.
On the top, but yeah, 250k wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, man, this is certainly like the time in the season where those who plan ahead, those who are strategic, really get that big advantage because anyone can pick the best player for the next game week. But looking 7, 8, 9 game weeks ahead, like that's genuinely a lot of effort. And those of you guys who are following along with FPL content, doing your research, I think you guys are really going to see some nice green arrows in the near future. So there's going to be some big benefits for the true FPL nerds such as ourselves, which, I look forward to. And if you are a massive nerd, there might be an app/website you might use, such as Fantasy Football Hub, the sponsor of the Stick to FPL podcast.
You have been researching and observing my excellent setups.
You've been doing well recently on the segues, but I thought I'd give it a go today. Yes, guys, if you haven't checked out Fantasy Football Hub already, please do make sure you do so. We got some lovely feedback in the comments last week. People who have been signing up seem to be really enjoying Fantasy Football Hub, helping them get some green arrows, looking through the data, getting some recommendations from the AI tool. The Ben Crellin, everyone's a big fan of Ben Crellin when it comes to doubles and blank game weeks. All of his stuff's on Fantasy Football Hub's website as well.
Whole planner.
Yeah, it's all on there, and you get access to it when you are a member. Yeah,
so that's like elite nerd.
I'll like respectfully to Ben, but like he takes the word FPL nerd to another level.
Oh yeah,
and we respect him for it.
Yeah, like I'm a noob. I'm not even a noob. I don't even play FPL in his universe
compared to this guy. Yeah, on a different planet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fair play. But we don't have Ben today, so you're gonna have to make do with me. To be fair, I'm not too bad on fixtures and blanks and doubles.
You're a good planner.
I'm a good planner. Pretty decent planner. Yeah. I think, if people are wondering about the doubles and the blanks and how it's all going to work, I think I got you covered today. So don't worry about too much about that. But if you do want to get access to Ben's stuff, as well as all the great stuff on Fantasy Football Hub, we will be showing a lot of Fantasy Football Hub data and stuff like that today. So check it out. Link in the description on the link tree. You know where to find it by now.
Awesome. All right, let's get started. I know we've had a double game week confirmed.
Yes.
So I want to start off just taking a look at what the rest of the season could look like.
Indeed.
So these are what are going to happen. Am I correct?
This is what I strongly believe will be the basis of the doubles and blanks. There's always a chance of little ones happening here and there around it. For Game Week 25, for example, some people are saying that there could potentially be a double game week there between Spurs and Fulham. That will depend on Spurs, their performance in the Europa League, and whether they beat Liverpool in the League Cup semi-final. But even if that does happen, I still think it's really unlikely.
So this is what's most likely to happen.
Yes. So what's going to happen is we've got a small double game week between Everton and Liverpool in Game Week 24. Liverpool will face Bournemouth away and then Everton away. And there'll actually be something like 11 days between the first and second fixture because of the way everything's fallen. So there'll be a big gap between the two Liverpool fixtures. So if you're worried a little bit about rotation for Liverpool, then actually you could benefit from that, I think, particularly as there's some pretty easy fixtures for Liverpool, like in the FA Cup, for example, they play against Plymouth, I believe. So there's hopefully going to be an opportunity there for your Liverpool players. Everton will play Leicester at home and Liverpool at home in that double as well.
2 clean sheets.
For Everton, well, Sean Dyche is gone. So all of our Sean Dyche, Dawn Scheich, like memes are out the window.
Moyes at the wheel.
Yeah, Mavid Doyes.
Mavid Moyes.
Mavid Doyes.
Mavid Doyes.
Is he a thing? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, what's David Moyes known for? I don't think it's anything great.
Yeah.
So
We'll see.
I don't think his alter ego is that good either.
We'll see. That brings us to game week 29, which is going to be a blank game week between basically any team that makes it to the League Cup final. And whoever they are due to play within game week 29, those fixtures will blank. So right now, Newcastle 2-0 up on Arsenal. They are odds on to go through. So therefore, they have a 16% chance of blanking in game week 29. Aston Villa versus Liverpool. Liverpool are still favourites to beat Spurs despite being 1-0 down. They've still got a game at Anfield to play. So Liverpool versus Aston Villa, that fixture has a 38% chance of being removed from game week 29 as well.
Just so for the non-percentage enjoying sector of our audience,
Okay.
just to clarify,
Yeah.
these percentages are odds,
Yeah,
essentially,
they're converted from market odds, yeah.
of how likely that team is to go through. So obviously Spurs are 1-0 up on Liverpool, so they've got a well, I guess
They're still odds off.
They're still odds off to not go through, given that they're going to be away at Anfield for for the return leg. But excuse me. But Newcastle beat Arsenal 2-0 at the Emirates, so they're much more likely to go through.
Yeah, really good odds.
So that's where these odds come from. If you are an FPL fan who does not support Arsenal, you want Arsenal to go out.
Do you?
Because Arsenal going out means this is not a bad blank.
Well, I mean, I would argue maybe in a different way as someone who has tripled up on Newcastle. I am an Arsenal fan, so I obviously maybe I'm a bit biased here. But if Arsenal go through, that means my 3 Newcastle players, like if you got Crystal Palace players, a lot of people have Mateta, Salah, Munoz.
How much Chelsea you got?
I have 2 right now.
So you got 2 Chelsea and you got 2 Arsenal.
Yeah.
Or you have 3 Newcastle, 1 Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Very benchable players from Newcastle and Crystal Palace. Not very benchable players, budget-wise, from Chelsea and Arsenal.
But like, I would be more willing to sell my Arsenal and Chelsea guys than my Newcastle and Crystal Palace guys right now in FPL terms.
I guess it depends on where you land yourself, right? For me, I've got 2 Arsenal, 3 Chelsea, 1 Newcastle, no Palace. So I guess maybe it was me speaking from a biased perspective, but
Possibly.
I think there's a higher likelihood of people having more players from Arsenal and Chelsea than they do from Palace and Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how true that is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, mate, I think things are shifting. If you asked me a few weeks ago, I'd definitely agree with you.
Yeah,
but I think people are shifting towards Newcastle and Crystal Palace players and shifting away from Arsenal and Chelsea players in many ways.
Form has really taken a turn.
Yeah.
Let's quickly fly through the rest of the doubles.
So sorry, just to confirm, the teams who blank in game week 29, and we've got a 62% chance of Fulham Spurs blanking and an 84% chance of Arsenal and Chelsea blanking. All of the other teams and fixtures are safe. So any team that blanks in game week 29, we can move on to the other graphic here, they will double in 33. So the fixtures will simply be moved from game week 29 to game week 33. So, for example, we spoke about Newcastle and Crystal Palace, high chance of blanking in 29, also means a high chance of a double for those teams in game week 33. Then we've got game week 34. That's going to be a big blank, the biggest blank of the season, and that is going to be due to the FA Cup. So FA Cup takes place at the same time as game week 34. So any teams in the FA Cup semi-finals and their opponents in game week 34 will blank in game week 34. And those fixtures that are removed from game week 34 will be added to game week 36 to create a big double game week. So a lot of, particularly the 33 to 36 period is going to be a heavily congested period of doubles, blanks. It's going to get a little crazy towards the end of the season. And that's why it's so important that we start at least thinking about chips now, where we're going to play them, thinking about maybe trying to save some transfers to use, some free transfers to use, or we can roll loads of transfers now, up to 5. So that's going to really benefit us and figure out how we're going to navigate this minefield.
Yeah. Well, I'm a proponent of, in FPL, play what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And what's in front of us right now is a Liverpool double game week against Bournemouth and Everton.
Yes.
Which is a very good double game week.
I think it's very good for defenders more so than attackers, because I look at both Everton and Bournemouth as fairly strong defenses, both away fixtures as well.
So tell me then, who are the best, either Liverpool or Everton trio?
Yeah.
To pick up for that double game week in Game Week 24?
Salah, obviously. If you have your triple captain still, this is your time. This is your moment. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm going to throw in there as well. I mentioned I kind of like the look of defenders. But the third pick, and this is particularly if you have Fabianski in your team, and this is where strategy comes in a little bit. If you have Fabianski on your bench right now, Alisson could be the greatest third Liverpool player ever.
You're boring.
Because, I know it's boring.
You're so boring.
But this is why. Because in Game Week 29, if Liverpool blank in that game week, you're not going to want to have triple Liverpool. But one of your triple Liverpool players is Alisson. He can be benched. And in Game Week 29, Everton face West Ham. Fabianski against West Ham. So
you don't got to think that hard about the goalkeeper position in a blank game week. Like, that, whichever goalkeeper you have will maximum pick up 7 points. Like, it don't matter. It's more likely that they pick up 2. So I wouldn't shoehorn in Alisson when you got players like Gakpo and Diaz.
It's strategic.
Nah,
it's too boring. Okay, so you think Gakpo and Diaz are the guys?
I think for Game Week 24, the best trio is Salah. Second, one of Gakpo or Diaz. I'm gonna say Gakpo.
Yeah.
Because double midfield may be tricky. And finally, I'm gonna say Trent. I think Trent is only high up in most people's lists because of the fact that Gakpo and Diaz aren't actually that nailed.
Yeah. And there could be rotation, maybe.
There will be rotation.
Yeah.
Like, even though the fact that there's 11 days in between it, I have a feeling that Jota is gonna do enough in his B team roles in the FA Cup and on the substitutions that he ends up picking up a start in one of these two, which means that one of Diaz or Gakpo will not start. So
I get that.
You, like, roll the dice, whichever one you feel, however things transpire between now and Game Week 24, whoever ends up more secure in the left wing position is who you go for. But for me, you got to do it. Like, Alisson,
it's safe, guaranteed minutes. Yeah, it's like strategic.
You'll pick up at most 12 points. If you get one of Diaz or Gakpo, right, you could pick up 20.
Maybe, I guess maybe, but you just create yourself a problem for transfers later, and like it's higher risk, higher reward. I definitely get it. I think what we would probably both agree on is that leave that transfer as close to Game Week 24 as possible. Yeah, so you get as much information as possible.
Agreed.
As well.
Agreed. I want to quickly look at what's happening between now and Game Week 24 because obviously transfer planning really has to happen at this point. So whilst you do have to look at what's in front of you, you kind of have to look at both. One eye. This is ordered how?
This is ordered, again, by Fantasy Football Hub's best fixture order on their fixture ticker. Who has the best fixtures between Game Week 22 and Game Week 27? And then I've just skinned it with my own colouring system.
I'll quickly fly through the top 5 and bottom 5. So obviously Everton and Liverpool are top of the charts because of that double game week they've got coming up, despite some trickier fixtures for Liverpool in 26 and 27 and a possible blank in 29. And then after that, we've got Fulham, Spurs, United, Arsenal, Chelsea. Bottom 5, Wolves, rock bottom, Man City above them, then Ipswich, Newcastle, Leicester, and Forest. This is very interesting.
Yeah, particularly as so many people are looking at Forest and Newcastle players right now. I would say both Forest and Newcastle have decent fixtures maybe in the next 3, but it does get a little tougher after that.
Yeah, Newcastle obviously facing Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham, but then walking into Man City, Forest, and Liverpool. Away for Man City and Liverpool. And Forest are just brilliant wherever they go, everywhere they go. But that's really interesting. And Fulham are essentially top of this chart. Because outside of the Everton and Liverpool boys. Is there anyone in Fulham that you're considering?
I know people will be like screaming at their like in their podcasts apps. Is that a thing? They'll be screaming towards their podcast apps.
People will be screaming into their device of sound transmission from audio.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth there. They'll be screaming, Iwobi, Iwobi. Look at all of the Iwobi points.
Oh, get out of here.
Go
Did you
and
see the goals?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I'm honestly like, all week people have been saying, oh, Iwobi, he could be the guy against Leicester. I swear, anyone who is saying, I want to buy Iwobi this week has not watched that game, has not watched those highlights. Go and honestly, go watch that. Come back to me and then we'll have another conversation.
Some could say that he has nailed down the perfect goal cross.
The perfect. He has, yeah. It's amazing. 2 goals without shooting is incredible.
Oh, I feel sorry for the punters that backed Iwobi 2 shots.
And and you know what's worse? Robinson.
Oh,
Robinson, 2 assists from those 2 Iwobi
bane
goals.
of my existence. I can't stand that, man. I can't stand that, man.
I swear. Just passes to Iwobi. Iwobi puts in a cross. Both times, the cross just found the back of the net, like randomly, because the striker that he was aiming towards missed the ball.
And the keeper just doesn't know how to catch balls, apparently.
That too.
Spurs
are interesting, yeah. After Everton, their fixtures actually look reasonably decent. Leicester, Brentford, Man United at home, Ipswich, and then Man City at home, which is not such a bad fixture these days.
Surprised you didn't put that grey.
Yeah, it's difficult. This is for like attackers and defenders, so I guess we have to kind of take it with context.
It's definitely grey.
Maybe, yeah. And Spurs as well. I mean, they love playing Man City anyway. They're Man City's bogey team. So if Spurs were a bit better right now, I think we would maybe be having a conversation.
Spurs aren't bad right now. I don't think Spurs are bad. They just beat Liverpool. Great performance. Whatever happened in Tamworth, I don't even know what that was.
Yeah.
They had a reasonable performance against Arsenal. They got battered when they got battered, but they did reasonably well. They didn't get humiliated like they should have done.
But where do you go? Like,
I think Solanke is a good option.
Yeah, and people aren't going to like that because he just scored 0 points because he scored that own goal. But yeah, I think Solanke could be an option. Maybe after Everton. I was having a look at Solanke yesterday, actually, and it seems like he scores.
Bit pervy, that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, poor old Solanke Mitchell, DSM.
I don't know what that is.
Solanke Mitchell, that's his name.
Oh, is that his name? Yeah. Is Solanke his first name? No, Dominic Solanke.
Yeah, Dominic Solanke Mitchell.
Oh, damn.
His surname is not Solanke; it's Solanke Mitchell.
Fair enough.
Little known fact, DSM. That's what we're calling him.
DSM.
So DSM. The goals he's scored this season seem to be mostly when you least expect them. So let's just go through some of the teams he's hauled against. So he scored against Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City got an assist there, Aston Villa 2 goals and an assist, Brighton if you count that, Manchester United and Brentford scored a goal against each of those. And like he's blanking against, he's got an assist in a 5-goal game against Southampton. Blanked against Leicester in the opening fixture. Blanked against Ipswich. So it's like, do good fixtures favour Dominic Solanke? That's my question.
I think that's interesting. And I don't think these are brilliant fixtures, but I think Solanke just seems to be picking up steam.
Yeah. And we have got Brentford, Man United, Man City in this round, by the way.
Yeah. I feel like he's all reliable at the moment. He's like what we kind of started seeing from Saka, where it was like you can rely on a solid 6-pointer. Obviously, you're not going to rely on a solid 6-pointer from Solanke most game weeks, but I think over the course of a 6-game week run, you can rely on an average of about 4 to 5 points minimum. Which is
on
decent.
average. Yeah.
It's decent because we're not seeing brilliant things from forwards right now.
Do you want to go to the forward stats and we'll just have a look at them and where Solanke kind of ranks in this?
So this is 6-game week data, XGI ordered. And right now, obviously, top of the charts is Alexander Isak. By some distance, by almost half.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, if you don't have Isak by now, are you even playing FPL?
Pretty much. followed by Farley, followed by Watkins, Jackson, Haaland, who has absolutely tumbled down this list.
Yeah.
Kai Havertz, who is shocking. Vissa, Vardy, Jesus is injured. Gakpo, Delap, Strand Larson, Mateta, Raul Jimenez, and then Big Dom Solanke.
Yeah.
Mitchell.
Yes, Solanke Mitchell, call him by his full name, remember. And by the way, Solanke is still ahead of Chris Wood in the data.
I've got things to tell you about Chris Wood.
Yeah?
I've got things to tell you about Chris Wood. Please, let's finish on Solanke.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so Solanke, his numbers aren't great. I mean, they're okay. Like we're tracking at 0.4 expected goal involvements per game. That's okay. It's not bad, you wouldn't say. So yeah, I think in better fixtures, he could be a reliable guy if you're willing to spend. How much is he? 7.5. He's maybe a little expensive.
He is expensive when you think. I mean, bloody hell, Cunha's XG is so small. But I mean, is it 6 game week that they've played, or 6 game weeks? Just 6 game weeks.
Just 6 game weeks generally. So he's played.
Okay.
He has played in all 6 of those.
No, he missed
Solanke.
first. Cunha.
Oh, Cunha. Sorry, yeah.
But okay, so Solanke's at 0.3, which is 0.4. I was looking at his XG. Sorry, 0.4, which is on par with Raul Jimenez. It's on par with Strand Larson. It's on par with, I think that's about it, Raul Jimenez, Mateta, and Strand Larson.
Yeah, and it's just below Cody Gakpo, who a lot of people are pretty keen on. So
I don't feel like this is representative.
Well, it is representative of expected goal involvement data.
Yeah.
Actual output is a slightly different conversation, as we can see by young Mr. Nicholas Jackson, who is in 3rd place on this list with 0.7 expected goal involvements per game, and yet 1 goal, 1 assist in his last 5 games.
0.4 actual XGI. Yeah. I mean, Solanke's almost doubling his output with his actual, he's almost doubling his XGI with his actual data, isn't he?
Yeah.
0.7 is his current XGI, GI.
Yeah.
But I mean, Solanke, I think, is a decent option because, like, this fixture run is solid. I feel like Spurs are really, really far down the table. We will talk about the table in a moment, but I do think he's one to consider.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than him, is there anyone else in Spurs that you'd think about?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think people will look at Kulusevski, but his data is on the floor. Johnson, Maddison, rotation risk. Heung-min Son, too expensive for what you get from him. Yeah, you're not going to touch the defense realistically, are you? You might have Pedro Porro in your team already. If so, fine. But I don't think you buy him if you don't have him already. No. I don't think defensively they're worth looking at all. No.
Quick fly through Manchester United. Bruno was on a lot of people's dinner plate because of the Southampton fixture, which has not yet happened for us. But we'll know that he blanked when people watch this tomorrow.
I really hope you're right. But I have a feeling, based on previous predictions, that we're probably wrong. Bruno is on his 3rd goal at this point. But we'll see. We'll see.
What do you think about Manchester United assets?
Well, I certainly don't think it's too late to go in on Bruno.
Okay.
I really don't think so. We look at these fixtures. Brighton at home up next, which is very good fixture. Fulham away. You know, Fulham have actually been dropping down the table a little bit on the expected goals against, by the way. They're kind of a mid-table team in that regard now. But then after that, Man United face Palace, Spurs, which if you're an attacker, is a lip-licking fixture.
Lip-licking.
Lip-licking.
Lick-lipping.
Lip-licking fixture. A fixture in which you lick your lips.
Lick-lipping.
Lip-licking.
Lip-licking.
Yeah. It's a lip-licking fixture. And then Everton and Ipswich to finish yourself off in game week 26 and 27. So lick your lips and finish yourself off because there's a good run of fixtures for Bruno Fernandes.
Is he a buy?
Yeah, I still think he's a buy.
Okay.
If you have an appropriate player to sell,
Yeah.
of course, and if you can afford it.
Ahmed?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm still not keen on Ahmed. I think at that price point, Rodgers is still clearly outstanding.
Yeah, Rodgers is kind of like Chris Wood. The data's not there, but he just produces constant moments. Some feel lucky, but it doesn't matter how lucky it is. If he's getting returns, he's getting returns. You know? Yeah,
I'm just really concerned about Ahmed's positioning, which again we're seeing from the lineup today. So maybe he smashed it, but from the lineup, you're getting a poo. It's not OOP. It's poo. You
Position out of.
Yeah, you're getting a midfielder who's playing in defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, I understand that he's wing back. I understand the system. Rah, rah, rah. He's wing back.
Yeah.
Is the point.
Check out the midfielders' data, by the way, because what's super interesting is obviously Salah's at the top, but for expected goal involvements in the last 6 game weeks, Bruno is actually tracking the same as Palmer right now. So Bruno is like genuinely a really good pick right now, I think. He looks good. He's playing in some advanced positions. We were worried before about him playing a little too deep, but I think he's in those advanced positions. Set pieces. I mean, he is clearly a brilliant football player as well.
Palmer.
No, Bruno. Palmer is as well.
Bruno's good. Bruno's all right.
He's all right. He's brilliant. He deserves better than Manchester United. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think he could.
I think oh, come on. Come on, man.
Hot take.
If he played for like a Liverpool or a Arsenal or a City,
I think he'd probably drop out of the team.
No, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Bruno is a fantastic football player.
I think he's fantastic at United. I think that's where the story ends.
It's because the players around him are bad.
The players around him are bad, but he isn't good enough to be in a team that is actually great.
Why?
Because I think he would suddenly start to look awful because he's unreliably reliable.
I think he is reliably reliable, but the players around him constantly let him down. The amount of chances he creates and how difficult he is to play against as a defender, I think he can cause anyone issues. The problem is that the players around him, he can create as much as he likes. His teammates can't finish. His teammates don't create enough space for him. I don't think he is at his full potential whilst he plays at Manchester United. I think he'd get better.
I don't know. I think he's. I think he just looks great because he's in a bad team and it's easy to do. It's relatively easy to do that, but the things that are like bad about him would get exposed drastically in a good team.
I get what you're saying,
but either way, Bruno Fernandes.
FPL terms, it doesn't matter.
He's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
he's brilliant for FPL terms. I'm not keen on it, but I think it's a solid buy. His data's clearly good. He's underperforming. Bruno tends to actually perform at or over his data. So I don't hate the buy. I do want to ask you about the 2 City boys below him, though. Mr. Brace and Mr. Chances.
Yeah. I mean, Foden's coming back into form, slowly but surely. I don't think he's quite at the level he was last season, but I mean, we're getting towards that. And Savinho just looks brilliant. He looks incredible. What a player. But he feels more like a creative guy than a goal-scoring guy. And the goal-scoring guys are the guys who get you the points, guy.
I mean, his XG isn't brilliant at 0.2 in line with someone like McAllister or, Jacob Murphy.
Don't talk bad about Jacob Murphy.
Bruno Guimaraes. So the XG is not brilliant, but I do think Sav is an interesting option. But it's a bit short term now. It's just 1 game left, really. Isn't it?
Well, I mean, I would say 2. Ipswich and then Chelsea at home is a good enough fixture for City, I think, to get some goals in that game. But after that, it's bad for City fixture-wise.
Quick one on Burma.
Yeah, still an option. We've got Liverpool next in Gameweek 22, so you maybe give it 1 more week. And then we've got Crystal Palace away. I think at that point it's optional.
Yeah.
But in Gameweek 24, he faces, I believe it's Spurs? We've got the fixtures. Yeah, Spurs. There you go. Spurs, West Ham, Leicester, Everton. Pretty good.
Yeah. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I think that for me, in terms of players based on this, what concerns me is Chelsea. Because the fixtures are great. And you got Man City in a dark red there, as if that is as difficult a fixture as Arsenal away from home. No chance. But either way, this is a great fixture run. And a lot of people still have players like Jackson. Some people might have Enzos flying around. Some people might have Gustos or Colwills or other like Sanchez. What do you do with your Chelsea players?
Well, Palmer, obviously, you keep. Jackson, I think it's a case of money. If you need, I have Jackson in my team, you do as well. I would consider selling Jackson if there was another player I really wanted to buy. So, for example, if You know, I think a lot of it has to be to do with who ends up blanking in Game Week 29. Because I'd like to ideally navigate Game Week 29 with free transfers alone, so I can focus my chips on the, you know, all of those doubles and blanks really late in the season. And, you know, if we've got players like Salah or Gordon and they blank in Game Week 29, and you want to upgrade them to a Bruno or an Mbermo, and you need to free up some money somehow, then Jackson, I think, could be a cash cow player. But whilst his data is good and his fixtures are good, I don't really see a strong need to sell him.
Yeah.
Like we spoke about transfers being more valuable than ever right now. Selling Jackson, just unless you're buying maybe Wood or Isak, there's not really another forward who I would say is, oh yeah, you have to make this transfer. It's luxury.
No, I think I concur. And I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more when we are talking about our teams. I want to quickly take a look at this, because
that's the Premier League table.
Is the Premier League table.
It is.
And it's ugly.
It's ugly if you're a fan of certain teams, for sure.
Yeah. Or it's beautiful if you're a fan of certain teams.
Well, really only Liverpool, Forest and Newcastle fans, I think, will be happy with this. Everyone else is kind of just miserable.
I mean, the way Chelsea have fallen off, I mean, that form run, last 5, 2 losses, 3 draws.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
It's bad, man.
Man City, two wins in the last 5.
Yeah.
You look at teams like West Ham being above the likes of Spurs and United.
Yep.
West Ham having had an awful season, sacked the manager.
And still ahead of Spurs, Man United.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crystal Palace a bit low. Brighton and Brentford probably where you'd expect them. Brighton probably a little bit lower than you'd think.
Well, they dropped off a little bit, and we don't know how they'll perform against Ipswich at time for recording, but yeah, it's not perfect. They could move up to 9th though.
Yeah. Who do you reckon is going to get relegated this season?
I mean, surely the teams getting relegated this season are the newly promoted teams. Like Southampton may as well be relegated already. I don't even know why they're still playing at this point. It's like, you're done. Goodbye. This is like the worst team in the Premier League since Derby County. Like, this is bad, man. And then Leicester, they got a new manager and didn't
it's not looking great.
Van Nistelrooy, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better.
Yeah.
They're just so weak at the back. And then Ipswich, I actually really like Ipswich, and I hate putting Ipswich in the same conversation as Leicester and Southampton, but I just think personnel-wise, they don't quite have enough to get over the line.
They remind me of Luton.
Yeah, they have tactically, desire, energy, passion, everything you want in a football team, but the quality of the player is just like a little bit off. It's a little bit off, and I think they will suffer because of that. So 3 up, 3 down again for me.
I reckon United get relegated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I don't see why not. They're kind of in relegation form right now. It has to be said.
No, I'm sorry, I'm joking.
Are you joking?
No, they're not. I think the 5 below them are just much worse. And if somehow Southampton beat them today, then maybe. But it's no. I think that's me being crazy. Let's quickly take a look at
What?
Differential of the week.
Oh, well, congratulations, my friend.
We both returned.
Yeah, but I mean, I return most weeks, so I feel like it's less of a big deal for me.
You don't.
Most weeks.
You've had 2 good game weeks.
Listen, 94 points in 20 game weeks because we missed 1 week.
You had 2 good.
So
game weeks.
that's what? Hang on, let me get the calculatrice out.
Listen,
and see what I'm averaging per week.
All we know is
94 divided by.
Stop doing the math.
I'm averaging 4.7 points per week on a differential of the week.
Yeah, mate. That's like Jackson form.
Yeah, it's like Jackson form.
You wouldn't call Jackson a good scorer of points, would you?
Maybe not.
But
Maybe not.
No, you're obviously doing really well. 1 point ahead of me this week. Both of us picking up Crystal Palace players.
Yeah, so I went with Mateta last week. He got 7 points. And you with Saar, 6 points. Great to see Saar finally returning, by the way. About time.
What did I tell you about Saar?
We've been waiting.
We have not been waiting.
But usually it works the other way around. A player, when you pick a differential of the week, they score. You pick them a differential of the week, and they blank. But you have the reverse impact on players. So it works both ways.
Essentially, I will break whatever's happening.
Yeah, you'll break the curse and you will break the luck.
Well, let's see who I'm gonna not break.
Are you going to bless or are you going to curse?
Elanga,
who has returned every week for 6 weeks.
Yes.
So you know what that means.
He's gonna blank. 4.6% owned. He was actually 4.5 when I picked him, so people are buying him clearly. 5.2 million, solid option. And you know what? This might actually be the best 5 million option because this is a little spoken about. People talk about Ahmad, Enzo, and Rodgers. At 5.2 million, is Elanga one of those to consider at the very least?
I think he's certainly gone ahead of Enzo in the consideration ranks. I think Murphy is also in that conversation, by the way. But is he better than Rodgers? Is he better than Ahmad? Not Rodgers. Not Ahmad.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe Ahmad.
Maybe Ahmad. I think at least he's nailed to start in the position that you want him to be in.
Yeah, and I think if you're buying a new cheap midfielder this week, like Rodgers faces Arsenal, Elanga faces Southampton. Like in terms of hopping on points, this is the perfect time to invest in Elanga. If you've got like an Enzo, you want to make a cheapy transfer. Maybe, yeah, I like it.
Well, look, great fixture. I'm hoping for a week where I blow you away somehow.
I like it. I this was gonna be my pick until you said it.
Yeah. I'm unhappy about your pick.
Why?
Tell us about him.
Savinho. Brilliant football player. Looks incredible. I just love watching him, man. Ipswich away is next. Like the returns have been flowing in recent game weeks. I got somehow only got an assist against Brentford. I don't know how he didn't score.
Hit the crossbar, had some huge chances. He's greedy. You like that in your FPL player.
Yeah. 3 assists against West Ham the game week before and a goal and an assist against Leicester before that. And we've got another nice fixture for Man City against Ipswich. Although,
Is that?
I'm a bit of an Ipswich fan. I'm a bit of a tractor boy these days. I hope for the best for them. So I don't know. But no, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about my team in a moment, but the reason why I hate this pick from you is that I will be hoping he both blanks and smashes it.
Well, it's a win-win for you, right?
Yeah. No, it's a lose-lose.
True.
So, this is your team. Let's quickly take a look at my one.
Yeah.
Score first.
Yeah.
Because I am doing good for the first time in about a month. 300k green arrow at the moment before Bruno plays, so I'm hoping that he doesn't do well. But the Isak captaincy absolutely paid off.
And we smashed it. We haven't spoken about captaincy. Maybe we'll do that at the end after our teams and just do a proper conversation about captains. But we spoke about captains last week. You said, I'm confident on Isak. I was a little less confident, but I love the risk. Love the risk to take a risk on a maybe injured player that if they play, this could be it.
Yeah.
And
it was the week for it, I think. It was the week for it. Chris Wood, just absolutely phenomenal.
One shot, one goal merchant.
Listen, that's all you need. That's all you need. 13 goals this season.
Madness.
Machine.
Madness.
Jackson with the yellow and the assist. It is what it is. Rodgers with the assist. Take it. Savinho with the assist. Take it. I ended up buying Savinho, sold Jota this week. Palmer 10 pointers. Salah blank. Thank God. Trent blank. Timber blank. Castagna blank. Continue to absolutely not be able to pick up points in my defense. And Raya blank too. So this is me just done. So I'm expecting to come down probably about 50k here based on how I think it's João Pedro and Bruno that are my rank damages. My plan for next week is probably to roll for the first time in a long time. I want to go to game week 23 or to game week 22, so basically after this game week, with Gakpo and Gordon in my team.
Okay. And
my plan is, I can't afford Enzo to Gordon now, which I would probably have done. But my plan is to do Enzo and Jackson to Gordon and Gakpo.
Yeah, okay. So you play the Wolves at home fixture for Chelsea, and then when they're about to face Man City away,
bomb him.
Get rid of those Chelsea boys.
Yeah.
Bring in some fresh blood.
And I'm not over the moon with that plan, but that feels good. I'm slightly concerned by the fact that I will have no benchable options most game weeks.
Rodgers? Yeah, after Arsenal, his fixtures
After
are
Arsenal,
good,
the fixtures get really good, and I hate benching Rodgers. Savinho, you don't really want to be benching that.
He's such a sim pick, by the way.
Yeah.
He's such a you pick, man. I didn't know, but coming into today's show, I didn't know you had Savinho in your team. But I'm not surprised by it one bit.
I had to stay true to my truth,
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate having 8 good forwards, and that's what will happen if I do Enzo to Gordon. What I think I might do to avoid that is to sell Savinho and go to Gordon, because the plan for Savinho was to go to Mbeumo. I don't know. Listen, plans are plans. I'm gonna pick between Gordon and Mbeumo basically next week, and I'm gonna pick between selling Enzo and Savinho.
Okay.
But that's what the thinking is.
One note on that. Are you concerned at all about maybe Newcastle blanking in game week 29?
Free hit.
You're going to free hit in 29. What are you going to do in game week 34? Bigger blank game week.
Is that bigger?
Yeah, this is why I'm trying to navigate 29 with frees alone. Because I think game week 34 is going to cause more issues. Because it's snuggled between doubles as well.
When will we know?
Game week 24 will have after the game week 24 deadline, we'll have a much better idea.
So I will not know when my transfers are likely to be made in the next 2 game weeks.
No.
That's one to think about, and that's a good point, actually.
That's what I'm here for. Sanity check.
Yeah.
Like, Mbeumo resolves that, by the way. If you go for Mbeumo instead of Gordon, that resolves that. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
like I'm also
up on Gordon isn't a brilliant idea. I thought it was.
No. It's good. It's fine if you want to play what's in front of you, and that's never a bad idea. Like, it's fine, and like, Gordon could outscore the other options by enough points that it's worthwhile taking a hit later on to resolve the issue. So I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just wanted to flag, like, overinvested in Newcastle and Palace in particular, because you are actually genuinely fairly well set up to navigate game week 29. If Liverpool and Aston Villa blank and Newcastle and Crystal Palace blank, which is the most likely scenarios, you have no Crystal Palace, you have 1 Newcastle, you have 2 Liverpool currently, and you have 1 Aston Villa. You can navigate this with transfers alone based on what you currently have.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay.
My scores are, pretty good so far, pending Bruno and Pedro ruining everything. But yeah, bad at the back. Arsenal and Liverpool concede next to no chances, yet always find a way to concede a goal, which is frustrating. But I'll always follow the data when it comes to defenders. But Lewis Hall, the defensive rotation between Hall, Kirkes, and Castagna continues to pay off, and Long
genuinely again shocked that you started Hall over Kirkes, but fair enough.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Kirkes played against Chelsea. Castagna played against West Ham.
I meant Castagna.
Yeah.
Castagna played West Ham. I thought you'd start him.
No.
Hall was up against the mighty Wolves with Cunha back in the team.
Yeah, no. I know my rotations. I got this. So yeah, I went with Hall. All attacking returns in the midfield and attacker positions other than Salah. So Gordon, Sarr, Palmer, Rodgers, Jackson and Isak paying off, which made it feel a little nicer, the fact that I benched Wood for his goal against Liverpool.
Why did you bench Wood?
I just fancied Rodgers more. It was between Rodgers and Wood, and I fancied Rodgers a little bit more. I thought Rodgers had slightly higher upside as well. So that's what we went with in the end. But yeah, moving on to my game week 22 team. Is it game week 22?
It is game week 21.
No,
it is 20. It's 22.
22. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, Raya in goal,
Bloody
Gabriel as well. So double Arsenal.
This lot of podcast.
Yeah, so true. So double Arsenal defense. I think against Aston Villa is not too bad. Aston Villa kind of mid-table attack, so I'm cool with that. Alexander-Arnold against Brentford, and we're going Hall again against Bournemouth. So you're going to tell me, you should be playing Castagna against Leicester? No, sorry. Trust the process. Hall against Bournemouth, my friends. Newcastle are just such a good defense at the moment. In midfield, Palmer, Salah, Gordon, Sarr, and up front, of course, we're going to play Wood this week against Southampton. Isak against Bournemouth, Jackson against Wolves, which I'm I don't know. I've got a good feeling about Jackson moving forward. And we're going to bench Rodgers this week away against Arsenal. Pretty easy decision there. Castagna against Leicester is going to be on the bench. Although I might put Castagna first sub. And then Kirkes as well is going to be on the bench away against Newcastle. No transfers for me.
Excellent. You're rolling as well.
Rolling.
How many you got in the bank?
None.
Okay.
Well, I used last week's transfer for this week. I got ahead on the Wood transfer ahead of price changes.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Well, we didn't talk about captaincy.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up with who the best captain for Game Week 22 is.
Okay.
Top of the pops. 8.2 predicted points, Cole Palmer.
Yeah, Cole Palmer has got the highest predicted points for captaincy, according to Fantasy Football Hub. And the fact that it's a home fixture against a Wolves team that does seem a little out of sorts at the moment, I think really does benefit a Palmer who is in form. 3 10-pointers in the last 4 game weeks. Mr. Consistency, which is not something he was before.
Just gets that goal, gets that bonus.
Always gets the bonus points because he takes shots, he gets fouled a lot, and he creates a lot for Jackson, who misses them chances. But creating chances gets you bonus points. After that is Salah, in terms of the points prediction, according to Hub, always going to be a reliable guy. Haaland is next against Ipswich away. Isak against Bournemouth at home after that. And people are going to talk about Chris Wood against Southampton at home for a captain. I'm not feeling it. Are you?
I could never captain Wood.
Why is it?
He's not explosive enough.
That's exactly it. Wood, 2 double-digit returns this season. Only twice this season he has got more than just 1 FPL return.
Yeah.
Salah, 11 times this season. Palmer, 9 times this season. Even like Haaland and Isak, we're talking about players who've done it 7, 8 times. But Wood might get you a goal.
Okay.
But with 1 shot per game, that's about as much as you can get.
Wood's not an option.
No.
But I'm going to press you. Who are the best 3 captains in order?
The best 3.
In your opinion?
I think we've got to go back to Salah. I think people will be down on him after Nottingham Forest, but Nottingham Forest are a good side, man. Brentford are a weak defence. And actually, Brentford's defensive data is worse than Wolves. So I like Salah against Brentford a lot, but Palmer is going to be in second place for me, followed by Haaland, and I'm going to put Isak 4th, Wood 5th. There you go. What about you?
I think I completely agree.
Have I nailed it?
You absolutely nailed it. I think it's Salah, Palmer, Haaland, Isak. I might swap Haaland and Isak actually.
Okay, that's fair.
But Wood at the bottom.
Yeah.
I do think that Palmer is probably not as good as Salah. And I don't know why they're predicted so vastly different.
It's not that different.
That's quite big.
0.4 points difference in predictions.
Predicted points is a big jump.
I just think, but both Palmer and Salah have that explosivity. They're the players who are going to get you 2 or 3 returns.
Yeah.
They've got a high ceiling.
Yeah.
And Wood against Southampton, doesn't matter who Wood plays, not going to give you that.
Yeah.
Isak, he can give you that, but against Bournemouth, who are a good side, don't know if he gives you it. So
yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for joining us. Please make sure you subscribe, like, follow, 5-star review, say something mean about Dad's hair.
Don't say something mean about my hair.
Whatever you need to do to get through your day.
For the algorithm, go for it. Honestly, it's fine. I'll take one for the team. But there we go, guys.
And I think, that's all. We will catch you on the next episode.
Yeah.
Dad, please tell the people something.
Oh, come on. I don't have anything for you today. Actually, I do. If you live in the UK, you can see all of the planets line up in a row across the night sky next week. So if you are a big fan of space and stuff, that's something to think about outside of FPL. See the planets in the sky. Beautiful stuff. There you go. See you later, guys.
Take it easy.